Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have an updated deck list for the green Gotenks Zenkai starter deck that is coming out in just a couple of weeks. We are so close to this new Zenkai block. I am super excited for it, and this is probably one of the starter decks I think a lot of people were kind of surprised about because it was the newest one that kind of got this new reboot leader, and I think it's one that was just really relevant for a while, and I don't know, it's just very surprising that I got all this new stuff. I think the leader itself was pretty relevant and pretty current as it is. It is probably fine just to get a new Z leader with it, but this new leader also is really cool, and I'm happy to play with it. So going on into the list, we do have, so when this card attacks, you just get to draw one, and then traditionally the old leader would just awaken if you play a unison, but this instead says if you have 2 or more energy, when you activate a union skill, we flip this card to his back. If you do draw one, switch up to one of your energy to active mode and add one card from your life, add cards from your life until you have 6 life left. Or you can just do the standard when your life's at 4 less, draw one and switch one to active. So, but normally you just always awaken on turn 2. It's very easy. If you want to also awaken on turn 1, you can easily do that as well. I don't recommend it, but it is something you can do, especially with this Gotenks Fusion Confusion, probably one of the best cards that this archetype got. It's just deflect barrier union fusion for limit 1 on a green Sun Goten and green Trunks. If your leader card is green and you have a Gotenks in its character name and you play this card in its owner's drop, add up to 1 Sun Goten and 1 Trunks card, both green, from your drop to your hand, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it costs 3 or less and KO it. So really strong turn 2 play with all this kind of stuff. Being able to get like a free 10k swing, get back into your hand, and just being able to proc all of your union effects as well is very good. And on the back side of this guy, auto, once per turn when you activate a union skill, play 1 ghost token of 15k power in rest mode. Still gets to draw on attack and also activate battle. Once per turn, remove one of your ghost tokens from the game. Use up to 1 mono green card with 5k combo power from your drop here combo with skills negated for the battle. So being able to do this is quite nice. Helps you build your Z energy for essentially free, which is very good. And then we do have the same guy on here, just Z Awaken here. Does not have the activate battle effect on the same one, but it does have the one activate main, limit 1, draw 1 card, you switch this card to active mode. So being able to switch this to active mode is quite good, especially like if you do the turn that you Z Awaken, you can restand it and then swing again. When you activate a union skill, play 1 ghost token with 15k power in rest mode. It's not once per turn, though I don't think that is a big deal. And then also activate battle, limit 1, remove 1 Sun Goten and 1 Trunks from your Z energy from the game. This gets plus 15k power and double strike for the battle. At the end of the battle, remove this card from the game. So this is a very confident game ender, just because this has essentially dual attack and you can make it a 30k double strike for free, essentially, as long as you set up your Z energy to do it. So if you set your opponent to 2 life, you can very easily use this to kind of help you end the game, which is quite nice. So going through the rest of kind of the main deck, we have to run Goku because it's such a good card. You're able to go like a chunky +3 with this pretty easily. Worst case, like turn 1, you just use it to get Gotenks Fusion Confusion into your hand, and you can kind of go from there. Also, the new card that we get from BT18, this card is nuts in the archetype. It is very good. So it is Goten and Trunks, so it has both names, which just means that obviously when you use effects like the Fusion Confusion, using green Sun Goten and green Trunks Youth just means that you get to use the effects to you have to use 1 of each, so you have to use 2 cards still, but this can be either one of them, so you can just use 2 copies of this card and it meets conditions for it. Also, if you just have this Trunks Bonds of Friendship, just means you can use the other guys. But then also when this card is placed in a drop from your Z energy, remove it from the game. But if you use the effect when this plays you drop by a union fusion, you may choose one of your leaders and it gets plus 5k power for the turn, so that does help you get a chunkier leader. And then also activate battle, limit 1 if your leader is a green Gotenks in its character name, and one of your green cards with Gotenks is in battle, which can be any of your battle cards as well. Use this card in a combo from your drop at the end of battle. Send this card from your drop to your warp, which normally would mean that would happen with the Z mechanic. You can just put it into your Z energy before it goes into your warp. So it just means that you can get a Trunks and Goten into your Z energy very easily, which means you can help proc off the activate battle here later in the game. So all that's very nice. And then we do have, we already talked, Gotenks is super good for proccing off the effects. We do have the Unison, so I think Vegito is still the better one, at least in the early game. Being able to use draw 1 card whenever you activate a Union skill, get the +2 to make this a 4 marker Unison on turn 2 is very strong. And traditionally, like, there's kind of 2 lines on like your best turn 1-2 play. Turn 1, you almost always want to play Goku, and then after that for turn 2, you normally like Vegito into Gotenks for free, being able to use the effects, and then you can use that to draw a card, and you can awaken. You have 1 energy open, and then you can go into the SS Gotenks if you want to. I might actually bump this up to 4 copies because it is kind of nice for you, and you can get the effects, which means you get an extra ghost token, which means you get to do some comboing. So cool stuff you get to do from there. And but also, like, I don't know, this Gotenks Grim Reaper Justice is still like just the best one for you in a long time. So even if you just do this for turn 2 and use this for your awakening, and then you just kind of have an energy open for potentially like a dorm potential or something like that, I think that is still a fine play for you. This just gets so much value for you, and the protection with it too, being able to get your materials back to get them is you just get a lot of value. He's so good. He's still very good. We also do have the SS3 Gogeta Carefree Combatant. So this is also from the starter deck. It has Empower Green for 5. Auto, once per turn, we activate a union skill, add a marker to this card, so you can, like, this is an okay like turn 2 unison if you need it. +1 activate main, place 1 card from your hand to bottom of your deck, then reveal 1 union fusion card in your hand, add to 1 battle card from each your deck and or drop area that matches the character's name with union skill with energy cost between 3 and 7, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So this can help you get your pieces again. So if you did a union fusion and you need the pieces back to do another one later, you can get 1 from your drop and then 1 from your deck. And also -6 activate main, your opponent discards 2 cards from their hand. So it's very easy to just do an Empower for 2 on top of your Vegito, and then you can make them discard 2, which late game, like this deck just draws so much. It has so much cycle and so much card advantage that going 1 for 1 is very good. So that's part of the reason we're running Aandroidd 18, because it does help us do that and kind of go from there. What else we got? We do have the Trunks Bonds of Friendship. This is just for the fact. So I mean, for green, if your leader card's green Gotenks, discard this card from your hand, play or add to hand 1 Goten with any cost of 3. So this can help you find like your extra pieces later in the game. But also when this card is discarded from your hand by union skill, look at top 7 from your deck, add to 1 green unison card specified cost of 2 from among your to your hand. So it just lets you find these, and worst case, these are just +1s in your hand, so you can get a free draw, which means that if you need an extra pitch target for your dormant potential, you've got one for free. So it does help you out there. We are using Aandroidd 18, as we said. What else we got? We do have 2 of the SS3 Gotenks. This one's not super strong, but then when you realize you can use the EX Evolve on top of either of these Gotenks, these 3 drops, it does make it 1 less, which is kind of nice. If you need to deflect double strike, the leader card is green. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's unison cards and move 2 markers from it. Then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. So being able to get some barrier removal for essentially 2, as long as you don't mind going kind of a little bit minus on the hand advantage for it, I think is strong. Or if you want to go just the 3 for it, I think it's good too. So and then we do have this SS Gotenks, so 3 drop, it's a deflect union fusion for 1 green, and you get to draw a card. Activate main once per turn. If your leader's a green, has Gotenks in its character name, you remove 1 of your ghost tokens for the game, you get to draw 1, then choose either to KO 1 of your opponent's battle cards or choose 1 of your opponent's unison cards and remove a marker from it. So this is really flexible. I might actually bump this up to 4. I think it's worth it. And lastly, we do have the 8 drop unison from the starter deck as well. So deflect, dual attack, union fusion for 4. If you have 4 more energy, you draw 2, and then you get to play this guy. Also, if your leader is a Z leader or if you have a Z battle card in play, reduce the skill cost of this union skill by 1. So you can do some kind of cool stuff with this, and like the new Piccolo Master's Teaching. So this only costs 1, but 2 Z energy. So honestly, this deck doesn't build a lot of Z energy, so you do have to be kind of careful with that. But if your leader card is green and you have Gotenks in his character name, and you discard 2 cards from your hand, when you play this, you get to play a Gotenks Fusion Confusion from your deck. So it just means that you can get this guy, and then you can pop it to get the 2 fusion. So it just lets you like find a Gotenks or a Trunks and a Goten if you really need it, which is really nice. Actually, auto once per turn switches card to rest mode. When you attack with a Gotenks card with any cost of 5 or more, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle, or 1 card in your opponent's battle area, and use it in a combo in your combo area. Now, I don't know. This is like one thing that I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it goes to your Z energy. I could be wrong on this. If it does, this is a fantastically good card because it helps you replace your energy. But being able to help you like just get the extra like just removal and also build up your combo power, I think is cool. If I find this out, I'll pin it in the comments below, specifically if this does get added to your Z energy, if it can get added to your opponent's Z energy. I think it can go to your Z energy, but I'll make sure before I'll make a comment in the below. What else? I think that's the main thing. Honestly, I like sometimes the unisons still feel clunky just because like you don't necessarily have the time to put the 2 energy for it. Obviously getting the extra card draw every time is good, and having a unison that's very chunky that late game can go into like a discard 2, and or even like just the -7, being able to discard 3 and crit of life is still just very good. It's a very good effect. So I think your opponent some decks can get rid of these unisons, and maybe they can be rotated out into your side if you are playing against one of those decks. But regardless, I think there's some very good stuff with this. Anything else I want to say? I might want to put like one of the Black Vegeta promo in here, just because like sometimes you want to get down to 5 life, so you can use the effect to go into this guy, because you do have to be at 5 lives or left to go into this guy. And anything else? This, you can also just use this for 1 to play this, and then you it's a 15k. You place 1 card from your life into your drop area, but then afterwards you can swing with it, return this card to your hand, look top 5, add a green Gotenks or green Houston, so it's a cost of 2 to your hand and shuffle your deck. So this is fine for what it does too, and I think it is kind of handy. We also have the Dodoria. I don't think this does as much as I'd want it to. If your lead card's a mono green, you have a green Houston card in play. If the card being played has energy cost 2 or less, place an owner's drop instead of being played. I don't think this hits a lot right now. Maybe a good sideboard card, but I think you can rotate out of this from the main and maybe put like the extra Gotenks and the 3-drop here to kind of round out the deck. And then lastly, secret rare is Majin Buu, just because we have a unison base. 2 energy is kind of costly to do it, but just being able to play this for 2, and you can like very easily steal your opponent's unison if they're not careful with it, because we do usually have some pretty chunky unisons of our own. And like being able to just prevent your opponent from continuing their turn at times for 2, I think is good in itself. So that's it. This is a strong deck. I think a lot of you guys can kind of assume that when it first got saw, and it's just, I don't know, like, again, this could have just had all of the archetype and just the Z leader and still be good, but it got a new leader too, and that's that makes it very crazy. So that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know some other leaders or lists that you guys want to see for the BT18 meta, and I'll try to do my best to make them for you guys. And that's going to be it for me. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.